Hello and welcome to today's IELTS video lesson with the IELTS coach. In today's lesson, I want to talk about when and how you prepare for the IELTS exam. So how much time should you spend on each of the skills and when should you study for each skill? So I've recently had a question from a student asking, is their study schedule okay? Is it suitable? So I'd like to just give my thoughts on how much time you should spend on each skill and when you should do each of the skills. So let's just imagine that you have 3 months to prepare for your IELTS exam, or even 5 months or a year. My advice when you prepare is to make sure you practice each skill every week. So don't, as some students do, and I've seen some students ask if this is okay, some students might do speaking practice or prepare for the speaking exam in January, and then do the listening exam in February, reading in March, writing in April, and then they take the exam in May. I don't like this idea. I disagree with it, because if you do that, the speaking preparation you did in January, you will have forgotten by the time you do the exam in May. So I don't like spending 1 month on one skill, the next month on another skill. My preferred way, my advice, is to divide the week for each skill. So speaking on Monday, listening on Tuesday, reading on Wednesday, writing on Thursday, and then I would also advise Friday, review all of those. Spend 15 to 20 minutes reviewing each of the skills. This can work depending on how much time you have. If you only have 1 hour a day, no problem. Spend 1 hour on Monday speaking, 1 hour Tuesday listening, and so on. If you have 2 or 3 hours, then you could do that. 2 or 3 hours for speaking, or divide it up, speaking and listening. But my advice is don't go more than a week, certainly not more than 2 weeks, without looking at each skill. If you spend 1 month preparing for listening, 1 month later you will have forgotten most of what you've learned. The review part is very important. So that's just my advice on how to schedule your IELTS preparation. Don't focus on one skill and then ignore it for a long period of time. Try to spend time each week on each skill. Also, by dividing up your lessons, make sure you spend some time reviewing what you did the previous week. So I would advise students to spend the first 10 or 15 minutes of your 1 hour preparation time reviewing what you did the previous time you studied that skill. So if Mondays I do speaking practice, the first 10 or 15 minutes, I would look at the previous week's speaking questions. What did I learn? What did I notice? What strategies or structures did I do last week? I need to remember that and use that when I practice this week. So this is actually quite important. Just spending time studying will not be as effective as planning how you will spend that time and make sure it is effective. If a student spends 5 hours a day, every day for a month doing listening practice, and then they go 6 months with no listening practice, they would not remember all of what they learned. So it's important that you do a lot of review and you don't leave a lot of time between preparing for the exam and taking the exam, regardless of which skill that is. So that's just my advice about scheduling your preparation, about dividing up your time. Okay, so watch this video again, see the advice I've given. Maybe you're already doing that. Maybe you're doing something different. If that works for you, fine. But from my experience, what I have seen with my students over the years, if they go 2 or 3 months without looking at a certain skill, they do tend to forget a lot of what they learn. So please, think about this advice. Think about how you can schedule your study times and each of the skills to be the most effective. So thank you for watching this lesson. If you want more tips and advice for all skills in the IELTS exam, please visit my website, theieltscoach.com. Goodbye.